আপনারা দেখছেন Iilfl Soccer Night.
We are back. It's the final section of the Iilfl Soccer Night show. We've been right through the Unity Cup games that happened yesterday, Super Cup and Legends. To all the teams that did come along and take part, thanks for making it the tournament it was. I'm sure it would have increased and been better by 80-90% had the weather played its part as well and allowed for good football. But nevertheless, lots of you out there did your best and played good football given the conditions. It went without hiccup. No problems, no dramas, really. Well, maybe one or two around the edges. But we've got 8 teams playing in 4 semi-finals. We're going to talk about those again at the end of the show. But from Unity Cup, we've got the UK Bangladeshi Championship happening in a couple of weeks' time. Rash, I'm going to turn to you just to let everybody know what's happening.
Well, basically, similar to last year, Iilfl will be hosting the event this year in partnership with the MK Galacticos and Shapla League. The 3 organisations got together to do this competition. It's a massive competition. You've got teams from all over UK, 16 invited teams representing each region from Manchester, Oldham, Sheffield, Birmingham, Luton, Southend, all over the place. And I think it's an event for all the Bengali players and teams get together under one venue. And I think last year it proved to be quite successful, and everyone's looking forward to it. It's on 3rd of May. It's got to be at the Marshes. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll announce the final for a venue on a good pitch, on a professional club, and hopefully, you know, it's going to be successful as last year, and hopefully bigger and better for the competition.
That is to come, like you heard. It was a great tournament. You've heard us say many times here how successful it was last year, hosted up in Milton Keynes. But here it is in London on the famous Hackney Marshes pitches. It will be played on the 3rd of May. And then a couple of weeks after that, we've got the Summer League to kick off. I know the weather isn't really playing its part and looking like summer is on the way, but the Summer League does start on the 17th of May. How's that one panning out, Rush?
Well, we launched it last year, and we were it was a successful launch. We had 14 teams, we had 2 divisions, and we've got a lot of interest from a lot of other teams. The key thing is there's no restrictions, so any teams, any players can participate. It's always going to be at the Hackney Marshes as last year. We've got this year with no added cost. We've got linesmen provided with the match official, the main referee. So there's 3 officials per every game. It's 35 minutes each way, and the price we kept it low for, so it helps financially for the teams. It's $5.50. We'll be 8 teams in each division. And if anyone's interested, just get in touch with the Iilfl board members, either myself or Jim or Hasnat, and we'll give you further details. But we're looking forward to increasing from last year because of the success we had last year.
Fantastic, and like we said, we always like to highlight Iilfl projects and tournaments that happen because it's the league that's out there for you. It is the official Tower Hamlets League, as you know, but I've got Nurul here as well, and not to be outdone, I know that London Tigers are always involved in lots of projects as well in and around London, and you must have your own agenda now for the summer. Do you want to tell us about 1 or 2 of those?
Obviously, we do the Asian Community Cup. That's our big project. We haven't set date yet, but again, same as the sporting the UK Bangladesh thing. It's similar to that, but we don't do it for Bengalis only. We do it to Asians. So again, we get national teams coming in, and we always play that game in a professional stadium, and all the games are always played at a respectable place as well. Then
I think the qualifying rounds on the Saturday, the 9th of May.
Saturday, 9th of May.
Oh, yes. 9th of May, yeah.
Yes, Saturday, 9th of May. But that will come out a little bit further up. I haven't got the full details at hand yet, so I cannot update you.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot there, Nurul.
No, I haven't got that. But that is our...
It's a prestigious competition. I think it's only invitation only. I think you have selected 8 or 10 teams that participate every year, and I think everyone looks forward to that tournament.
Everyone looks forward to that tournament. It's been going on for over 10 years, and it's still going on.
And what are the other tournaments that London Tigers as a team are involved in? Like you said, I know you like your cup tournaments. So where are London Tigers taking their battle bus to go and collect more silverware?
We like to go to the Northampton tournament, which is again is another big one. Again, it's a cash prize. Basically, wherever there's cash prize, we like to go to those because it helps towards the youth section of our side. So the seniors players volunteer and say, right, listen, we can't give money out of our own pocket, but if there is cash prize tournaments there, we'll go up there, we'll win it, and we'll give it to the youth for the under 7s, under 8s, right, or under 10s. So last year we raised about £5,000 or £6,000, and that basically paid off up to under 12, whole year done. We tried to go to Oldham. There's a massive tournament in Oldham where we take all the players out there on a Saturday night. We have a nice banter with the players, and on Sunday we have the tournament, and we just come back from there. The next one is, as I said, Northampton is the one. There's Oxford, nice Oxford one. There's one in Portsmouth as well. There's a nice one that we participate in. And also we got on the pipeline this year, we want to do a tour as well of maybe Brazil, with this talk of Brazil maybe this year, but we want to do a tour this year, Tigers as Tigers.
Fantastic stuff. Just last thing I just wanted to ask you before we wrap up the show. At last year's award ceremony, Iilfl award ceremony, Tigers did very well. Spent a lot of time walking up and down that stage.
Yes.
Spent a lot of time taking lots of pictures, panoramic pictures of all of your boys with all the silverware. Not quite looking the same so far this season, is it?
As every team goes through the transaction of bringing in new blood into the team, this year Tarek's taken the team on, and he's trying to mix youth and experienced players together, and it's taking that little bit longer time, but we are surprised how competitive they were in that league to finish up where they did, but we weren't expecting it. Like this tournament last Sunday, this is Tarek's pressure point, where we said, Tarek, for the last 2 years Tigers have basically won as much as they possibly can without winning it, runners up or winners. This year the main team hasn't done nothing in the ILFL. What are you going to do? He said, no, I'm going to try my hardest to get this one on the board. That puts that extra pressure on the Tigers vets as well, where it's saying, okay, last 2 years we haven't won the league, but we won the cup, but if we could get two more cups in there and the league, I think it justifies Tigers had a good season in the ILFL.
You've got something out of it. You were going to say?
I was going to just say, how are you looking forward to the E7 match on Sunday? They look good on yesterday. They look good.
If we go back to the Super Cup a couple of years ago, if you go back to the Super Cup a couple of years ago, we were expecting a really good game with E7 at our stadium.
Yeah, I remember that.
And no disrespect to the current players in the E7 setup, they're not as good as those players they had.
But what I saw yesterday, they look more physical. They look they look up for it. I think they will want to put.
But E7 have always been physical. E7 have always
they've always been a strong
physical
physical team that play football.
Not only that, I think the semi-final is interesting because even FC Bengal, I think even if you meet them in the final, they're the two matches I watched. They look good. And the squad is massive.
Yes.
Even on the bench, they had some quality players. And management is really strong. I didn't see any weak point. Physically, speed, pace, they had it all. I think they're the team I'm looking at them all the time that might win the. Tigers,
they're the mouth-watering games that we're looking forward to.
Tigers are not playing the best of football, unfortunately, I have to say. Yes, they're at the semi-final in the Legends and the Super Cup, but they're not in the third or fourth gear.
I think something that we said outside of the show while we were in the break is that Tigers, where they had the two tough games, SCTA and Bromley, I think that's added some steel to London Tigers, and I think we might see something a little bit different next week. Gentlemen, we've got to wrap it up, and we could have spoken for more. Thanks again to Nurul for coming in, Rash, Shakil as well for your contribution, and Hasnat, who's disappeared off the side there. But don't worry, he'll be back next week, as will all of us, for the Iilfl Soccer Night show. We'll be wrapping up the semi-finals and finals of the Unity Cup tournament, talking more about the Summer League that's to come up, and the UK Bangladeshi Championship that's upcoming as well, but in a couple of weeks. But for the meantime, I'd like to say thanks to you, thanks to everybody behind the screen, thanks for watching the Iilfl Soccer Night show. We'll be back next week with more of your local football. Until then, it's good night.